it's like, I don't like that. You know, people think of diversity as like every place on the planet should look like Jackson Heights in New York, and like then we're diverse. But to me, that's not diversity at all. Diversity is I go to Ireland and it's Irish. I go to China and it's Chinese. I go, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
And turning it all into sort of a homogenized, like mixed, soup. I think when you put it in those terms, nobody really wants that, and you're not going to be able to come up with a reason that justifies keeping them out. I mean, the only one that you could come up with is that when you open the door to that room, there's 65 million people standing in line outside, and you can't do that. But like on an individual level, like people really have a lot of trouble, and I think this is a credit to Americans in a lot of ways, even if it causes us a lot of confusion. That it is hard for us to turn people away like that. It depends on the country. I mean, it's like
But like to Ireland in specific.
Yeah, Ireland. There's a lot of like Polish folks in Ireland, people from Eastern Europe who go there for work. That's the primary like source of migrants. But there's a lot of there are a lot of third world migrants or global South migrants there now. But a lot of Eastern Europeans coming there for work. Yeah.
That's how you have to look at it. This is ultimately about money. And whether it's about money, bringing in people for cheap labor, which I think is fucked. Because I think if you're in America, if you're here, we're going to call you an American. You should get paid what a fucking American gets paid. You should get health coverage. You should get everything. You shouldn't be able to like get people just because they walked over here and you get them to work for slave wages. That's ridiculous. That's insane. That's anti-American.
And like that kind of thing was like, that's an extreme kind of example, I guess, of the brutality, but smaller versions of that, that's how it was. Like people didn't believe back then, or a lot of people, the capitalists didn't believe back then that you had a right to strike. Today we're like, yeah, if you don't want to go to work, you don't have to go to work. And if you all do it together, that's a strike. Like, of course people can do. That's not how they thought about it back then. They thought they thought of a strike as like a form of sabotage. And so the authorities would be brought in, mercenaries would be brought in to like deal with these people. These were like working people who were, I firmly believe, if it was not for their sacrifices, we would all still be working under those kind of conditions. Like the capitalist class, and I'm not trying to sound like some kind of a Marxist or something. I'm just that's what they were. Like they were not going to compromise with the people unless they were forced to. And those people, they went out on the picket lines. They fought. They died.